So, fluorapatite. All the pieces that I'm about to show you have all been kind of featured in videos before, I believe. But I thought I'd show them nonetheless because they're some of my favorite ones that I've collected. This is a green, kind of yellow. I don't know if it's because of iron oxidation or if it's just like kind of a yellowy green color instead of like the regular green color. This is a kind of wonky, funky looking fluorapatite from the Miller property, also known as the Smart Mine. I'll show you a couple other pieces and kind of talk about some interesting history of fluorapatite in Ontario. Here's another piece. This piece comes from the Schickler's Currents. It's got some lovely, it's a kind of what I would call a watermelon fluorapatite. So it's got some greens and it's got some reds. And this one, the termination isn't perfect. It's kind of lumpy. It just happens with fluorapatites a lot of the time. They kind of get, as I would describe, kind of melted at the top. But this one's kind of cool because it's got some mini crystals kind of growing off the side of it. Some cathedral-esque growths. And then this point is one of my favorites. It's got amazing kind of jamminess to it. Super fractured, like most fluorapatites. It's got all these little tiny microfractures and imperfections, but just the color and like the gemminess of it is very lovely. And this one comes from Titanite Hill. Now, from what I understand, fluorapatite was mainly mined in Ontario for industrial purposes to make fertilizer, from what I understand. And I think there were a couple other ones, but I think one of the main ones for the longest time was to make fertilizer. Because for those who don't know, fluorapatite, or apatite, if that's the short form name for it, is the most common phosphate-based mineral. And phosphate is a great fertilizer. And so, of course, Ontario having large amounts of it, in the past, it was a sought-after mineral to mine for fertilizer purposes, to mine for the phosphate to turn it into fertilizer. I can just imagine the countless of giant fluorapatite crystals just getting blasted and ground up in machines to get put on some farmers' fields.